Hi everyone, Emery here, Triple 007 Podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. Today I want to take some time to talk about watches, but not this beauty. This is my Casio Duro. This is a watch that I actually was gifted from my wife to replace a watch that had become damaged. That watch is this one here, my um, Omega Seamaster GoldenEye homage. This is actually kind of the same one that Daniel Craig wears in Casino Royale as well. And I also have this one here, which is my Submariner homage, so closer to the Connery era kind of watch. I'm going to talk to you about everything wrong with these watches because I did do a video a while back comparing what, fake and homage, a copy, etc. I think we can really categorize them as fakes and homages because a fake will be, the Rolex logo will be there, but it's not a Rolex. Or this is an homage, it's kind of a copy and homage. We can kind of put it in the same boat. I mean, the Casio Duro is kind of a Planet Ocean homage in a sense. But I like this one a lot better because it does have some of those Casio qualities, but it also is a very solid watch. We start with the problems with the watches I currently have in my homage collection. These are both on their way out. This one and this one, they're both on their way out. They're not going to stay in my collection for much longer. I already have replacements lined up for them in my head. When they eventually completely die, they'll be I'm gonna have to find some spectacular way to get rid of them. Maybe suggest that in the comments. Should I smash them with a hammer? Should I try to blow them up? Let me know. Starting with this one. This one was working fine, or is working fine, I have to say. I've put it on the Spectre NATO strap, and I do have a Goldfinger NATO strap, and I'll flash the photo up here because it's put away right now. So I do like this on a NATO strap. I like the small diver. This is a 40 or 39 millimeter case with a 20 millimeter band. I have many 20 millimeter bands. And I'm actually going to do a different review of this one later on because the reason I bought it 5 years ago, or yes, 5 years ago now, was because it was a watch that represented different options that you could see on screen. So there's with the metal band that it actually originally came with, it kind of looks like something that Roger would have worn. I think Timothy Dalton wears a Tag Heuer, or maybe it's another Rolex that he wears with the steel band on it as well. If you put the rubber band on it, rubber strap on it, it kind of does look like some of the black dialed Planet Ocean, and it does kind of have that Planet Ocean knurling here on the dial, not the dial, sorry, on the bezel here. So kind of would work in that sense as well if you put the black rubber strap on it. It kind of gives those vibes. So this is actually one of those watches where, because it's got the black dial, it's a little bit more versatile because it's been worn in different situations by Bond. So this is why I initially got it. I will hopefully eventually be replacing this with something of a little bit better quality, but one of the two watches that I really want to replace this with is either a Moon Swatch or a Seiko. So we'll see about that later on. Its imperfections, like right off the bat, one of the things is this. You don't really see it too well, but the bezel is slightly off center. That was original. There's some discoloration here on the crown. That's no longer the silver polished color. You can really tell that this is brass because you can see there's discoloration here as well. This is a cheap watch, but let's be honest, guys. This was a cheap watch. I'm not going to hide anything. The little indicator dot that's usually, you know, here and nice is completely gone. These are the first things to go on these watches. Is that particular little piece there. And besides that, I mean, there's this regular wear and tear. You'll notice that there is no indicator at the 3 o'clock mark. That's because this summer I was wearing it to a baseball practice, and I took a line drive to my chest area here, and my instinct was to block like this, and it not only knocked the battery loose, but it knocked that 3 o'clock indicator clean off. And I'm not about to make the same mistake twice, because I have tried to repair watches in the past myself. That's been catastrophic. So I'm not going to try and replace the 3 o'clock marker, because on another watch, the 3 o'clock marker fell out as well. So for this watch, still functions. I mean, it still looks pretty okay. It's not rubbed off to the point where it's really super discolored. I mean, it's really on the underside and on the crown. I can live with that temporarily while I work out, you know, the next watch purchase. Like I said, it's probably going to be somewhere in the moon swatch, or a chronograph kind of watch to replace this. I still want to keep it small, because I do like these smaller diver watches. The Duro is nice, but it is a bigger watch. I'm not super fond of the size of the Duro all the time. I'm getting used to it again, because I've been wearing these all summer, and these smaller case watches all summer. So this one, like, it's probably going to go out. I do have a couple more straps coming for it, so there is another video involving this one, damaged or not. We're still going to talk about it, because it is kind of in that frugal um, sentiment of Bond watches. The big one that's damaged now, this one I've had for several years now. I've had this probably for 12, 13, 14 years. Bought this on eBay. It was my first big Bond-ish purchase. I purchased it because it looks like a Omega Seamaster. I am a sentimental old fool about this watch, because as much as it breaks and fails and lets me down, I still keep patching it back together, because I do like the look of the watch. It was on a blue and gray NATO strap, kind of like the 60th anniversary edition Bond watch that they came out with Omega not long ago. You know, it says Theta on it. It's still in that Greek naming thing. But if you notice here, like, that crown is supposed to screw all the way down, and now it's just loose. The crystal was damaged. I dropped it. I placed the crystal on it inexpensively. The band it's cheap, and it's flimsy, and it's made out of pressed metal that's just been folded over. The clasp doesn't shut as it should be. The back is screw down though. This is nice. It's the other one is a pop off, and but my Casio on this one. So this is what would have given it its waterproof qualities. The gasket is no longer there, so it's no longer waterproof. And if it was, the water can get in from here. It's not great. It's not ideal. This damaged as well. This was recent. I'll put a picture up here in a second, but the bezel came clean off. So that's been patched together. And I patched it together just for the purposes of the video to show you, because this one is also going to get eventually destroyed, because I can't part with it if it's still intact, if it's still if it's still ticking and it's still wearable. I'll wear it, even if this watch is the one that replaced it. The strap, ideally I would go with the Strapsco Seamaster watch strap, because does look fantastic for that kind of 9-bead Omega look. I might actually get one for this one eventually, to have that real Omega Seamaster, because I mean, this is a Planet Ocean almost. It's got the same kind of hands and everything. So I love this watch. This was a great purchase. Thank you, my wife, for this. This one was a personal purchase for me. I've put limited amount of funds into it, but I keep repairing it, and it needs to go. Like I said, the crown doesn't work. The bezel came off. I'm missing parts to here, which is useless to replace, even though it would be super cheap. I'm not going to try and replace it. It's got a flimsy band. It does look fantastic on the 20 millimeter NATO strap that I got, and I'll post a picture of that too as well if I haven't already. I mean, you'll see it on my Instagram too. But this watch, for all intents and purposes, is going to be a show watch. Like, maybe I won't smash this one. Maybe I'll just put it back on display. I'll take the battery out and put it on display as it was before. Because as I mentioned the last time that we talked about this one, it got some water damage, and it spent about a year and a half not functioning at all. Like, at all. And then it came back to life. So it was the only reason I keep resurrecting it. So these two watches, unfortunately, they're gonna have to go. Like, unfortunately, I mean, I like wearing a different watch every day. I like having that variety of watches, but honestly, I'm probably gonna replace these two with a field watch and a chronograph, and then upgrade to a better and different diver later on. Hopefully this will give you some insight on whether or not to buy a cheap homage watch. These combined investment, just buying them without all the straps and everything, where, one was 40 15 years ago and the other one was 25 in a sidewalk sale 5 years ago. Not a lot of investment. This is a much better purchase. The Duro, Casio Duro, I know this is not a sponsored anything. Um, Casio is just, they've got fantastic watches. I also own a Timex, a watch that's kind of a different variety. I would buy Timex again. I'm probably going to buy a pair of Timexes, or a Timex and another Casio, to replace these two eventually. It's not my priority budget wise. You'll see why in a couple of weeks. But it's not my priority budget wise to replace these. These are for show now. They're probably going to become display watches again. But that's kind of the collection of ideas and reasons why you shouldn't buy these types of homages. These cheap watches are not worth it. They are going to fall apart in your hands. They are going to fall off your wrists. They are going to cause you endless headaches. Invest in a better watch. This is a kind of caveat to watch buying. Don't buy super cheap. Buy from a respectable brand when and if possible. On that, see you next time.